Well, hello. Hello. We are live. Welcome, everybody. My name is Stu. I'm here with my lovely wife, Amy.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see everybody. And so we wanted to jump on here because obviously this week has been a whirlwind.
Last 24 hours, I mean, let's be honest, has been a whirlwind. 48 hours has been a crazy whirlwind.
Yes. From the middle of the week to now, things have changed dramatically, thanks to obviously the coronavirus. And there's a lot of things that are playing out amidst all of this. As business owners, we're right in the thick of it. And I want to give a shout out to all of, especially like our brick and mortar business owners,
local businesses, all those businesses that depend so much on the foot traffic and
like
coming in.
We get it. We understand that this is a delicate time for all of our local businesses. And I just want to give a shout out and support to all of them because it is challenging. And
to them and all the nurses and the doctors and all of the health professionals that are leading the way in like this crazy time.
And then in the midst of that, like I have had a whole lot of conversations this week because a lot of friends and colleagues have businesses that host live events. And obviously, with coronavirus, like it's dramatically changed the landscape for so many of us, ourselves included. Like we host live events, right?
I've had to cancel a few.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that are swirling around. It's creating a lot of uncertainty, a lot of stress, and so forth. But at the heart of it, what we want to talk to you about tonight is how to keep your highest priority relationships intact amidst all of this chaos. Why was this important for you to talk about tonight?
I think it's important because we're all going through it around the world right now. I mean, we're in Puerto Rico at the moment. We fly home tomorrow, but there are bans here to be in our home by 9:00 tonight. Like no matter where you are, it's affecting you. And with all the stress of everything work related and everything happening, it's also, I think, a big stressor on our relationship as a husband and wife, or your partner, your spouse, or the person that you're living with. It creates even, more as a relationship because you've got so much happening out of the ordinary.
And we got our little guy down there. Speaking of stress, even the kids feel it, right?
Yeah, he just wanted to be a bit closer tonight, I think. But yeah, it's just we wanted to talk about our relationship and maybe you guys and how you're handling it as a couple, because the world has changed. Like we said, in the last 24 hours, a lot of people are asked to being working at home. The kids are home. It's challenging, right? It's challenging to run your own business, or it's challenging to have your regular job and doing that at home and still managing your relationship as a couple and being a mom and taking care of your kids.
So we want to talk to you about tonight how to keep your high priority relationships intact. Because here's the thing. When times are challenging, having those relationships intact helps you get through these challenging times so much easier and faster.
Yeah, you need to be strong for your kids, for your community, or whoever it is. But we've got some things that we're doing because we think a bit differently. Stu, out of our relationship, is more of a level-headed one. I tend to go more of the worry.
By the way, let me know in the comments. If you have a partner, in your relationship, is one of you, are you opposite in the way that you react to situations like this? Because we certainly are, and that was where a lot of this conversation came up.
I wouldn't say we're totally extremely different, but we are different in that way. And so we thought we would come on here tonight to share some things that we're doing to help bridge that gap, so we're still strong together for our kids and for our communities.
Yeah. Alicia, I just saw here in the comments, she said, I'm sad there was no church for us this morning. Mm-hmm. The blessing from it was that my husband led a Bible study for us at home. So nice. That's awesome. That's beautiful. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about how do we keep our relationship intact? Because as you said, we do handle stressful situations like this a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. And so let's talk about how we handle it.
So what we've been doing, and I don't know, might be helpful for you and your partner, is just having more daily check-ins. So at the end of every day, taking a minute to talk about the day, talk about the next one, because things are changing daily. So things are coming up with our children, things are coming up in our business. So it's like having, instead of like our weekly check-in that we usually have, it is on like a daily a daily check-in.
Yeah.
Like
so
just how are we feeling? And it's not what's happening now. It's how we're feeling as a couple, as our individual selves.
And sometimes a case in point, like I'm learning this on the fly. Sometimes you just want to sound things out. You don't necessarily want to strategize and figure and solve a problem, or you just want to sound things out.
I like talking about it.
Yeah. So but this is part of that communicating, right? Like in that daily check-in. And so if you have a partner that that does thinking verbally, one of the best things you can do is show up and just listen. I'm learning.
You've listened. You're a good listener.
You've
listened a lot more in the last meeting.
Yeah. This is my contribution to the relationship is to show up and listen. So first and foremost, communicate daily. And I think in high stress situations, the more frequent the communication, the better. And
it's like being honest in your communication of where you're at or how you're feeling. Like, I mean, hopefully in the relationship you are honest with your partner, but I think you need to be really, honest about how you're feeling about something, for sure. Okay. So communicate daily. Mm-hmm. Number 2. I would say just give yourself grace. There are so many moms out there that are worried about schooling and what to do with their kids. And like, it's March break, let them relax a little, but this is like unknown territory for all of us. So we don't know what the best solution is. It's just giving yourself grace to just wake up every day and sort it out every day. And I think here's the thing, in business and in life, like one of my general rules of thumb and our rule of thumb as a family is that we do everything we can to reduce stress. So like, I'll give you an example. We're here in Puerto Rico. Our trip was supposed to be another 2.5 weeks. We're supposed to be here. Mm-hmm. Amidst everything, we made changes. We were going to be flying home, a week from now. Oh, we changed. Hang on. And so we were gonna fly home. Yeah. We changed our flight to fly home a week from now. And then, like, as this week came on, it got closer and closer where the Prime Minister of Canada is saying, like, he's about to close all the borders. Things are changing, like, drastically. Yeah. So this is where that communicating daily comes in. And so we're like, okay, well, we got to get home, like, now. And so we booked a flight so we changed our flight once and we changed it again. And amidst all of this, we were like second guessing ourselves, weren't we? And we were like, oh, should we do this? Should we do that? Like, should we get on this flight? And at the end of the day, it's just like, at some point, you've got to just give yourself some grace, make a decision and move forward. Because what creates stress and uncertainty is when you linger in a decision. Indecisiveness. And so make a decision and then give yourself grace to move forward in that without second guessing yourself and creating any unnecessary stress. Like this morning I got online and I'm like, oh, maybe we should have taken that direct flight and not gone via Philadelphia. And so this morning I'm on the computer and of course they've all sold out now. There's no direct flight back home. So we've got our flight, but then it's me. You were stressing about myself and stressing about it when I should have just gone with what we have, and we are going to go with what we have. And yeah, you just got to give yourself grace. As Amy said, this is uncharted territory. So like we can't get everything perfect here, and we just got to continue to move forward. So give yourself grace amidst this, and realize like nobody has the perfect ideas, the perfect strategy, the perfect solution. Just like you were saying with parenting, like, nobody's going to have a perfect plan at home to be able to, teach their kids and all this kind of stuff. Like, this is all new territory. So give yourself grace. Yeah. So number 1, communicate daily. Number 2, give yourself grace. Number 3. I think this is like something that Stu and I think we do pretty good at it. I mean, we're not the best at it, but it's teamwork. It's like, you've got to look at the next 2 weeks and work with your partner or work with whoever you have at home. And if it's not a partner you're living with, it's family or it's a close friend. And you've got to work together. You've got, like, it's a team effort. I've got to be honest. We leave tomorrow and the kids are at home from school. We run 3 businesses. I have a book coming out in August and I'm feeling a little like, how am I going to get all this done with the kids at home too? But you've got to help each other. You've got to kind of assign a few hours each and make it work the best you can. But you've really got to help each other and have grace with each other too. And I think one of the things that we do well is we block out chunks of time. Mm-hmm. So we block out like 2-hour chunks or 3-hour chunks where I'll take the kids, I'll go do something, or we flip flop. Amy takes kids
and it creates these chunks of time. And I think more than anybody, you are the most efficient user of those chunks of time. But I think this is where the teamwork comes in.
Yeah, you gotta help each other. You can't, as with everything, and it's not just works related things. It's all the kids' activities, and like you have to work together with your spouse,
especially in these times, because it's, again, we want to do everything we can to eliminate stress, not create more stress. I think the other side of this, though, which I think is an opportunity, is I think that there's a way to be able to come together as a community to be able to help each other out.
As a community and as a family unit and as a whole, because at the end of the day, it's like your attitude or how you show up affects your kids, it affects your family, it affects your community. And the more positive we can work together as a community or as a spouse or as a mother, however that is better, right?
You referring to me as the mother? I'm the father.
No. And you're my spouse.
Okay. So listen, this coronavirus, we're not trying to minimize it at all by any means. It is serious. Obviously, this is why like these extreme measures are being taken. And it is creating a lot of stress, because as business owners, like there's a lot of uncertainty. And so we come to you tonight with this message because you don't want another layer of uncertainty, and that is with your closest relationships. And the greatest way to create certainty in those relationships is, number one, to communicate daily. Number two, to give yourself grace and your partner grace. And number three, to remember, this is about teamwork. In times of super stress, it's about teamwork and showing up for each other. Any final words, Aim?
No, just
wish us luck. Wish us luck, because we're on our trip back to Canada, hopefully before the Canadian Prime Minister closes the border. Hopefully we make it. You can join us on Instagram to find out. But lots of love to you, your family, and those you are closest to, because who knows what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, we got to keep moving forward. I think there's a lot of positive that will come from this. I guarantee you that. And I think right now it's just about, making the main thing, as Stephen Covey would say.
And focusing on what you can control and what you can't control.
That's right. My friends, thank you for all the comments. I see lots of comments here. Yeah, Laura said, love that. Make a decision without second guessing. I think, by the way, this is more important in business as well, because I was talking this evening. We had a lovely dinner with, or we didn't actually have the dinner because we came back because of the kids, but that's another story. But we were with John Lee Dumas and Kate Erickson.
We had I felt like it was our last friend get together, because when we get home, we're
in lockdown. But
our last.
But I was talking to John about this, and that like in decision making in business, one of the most important things is to make a decision so that you can mentally move on and you can strategize about like what you want to do next and how to move forward. Like I'll give you an example. So we have several live events between us, right? Like, with the charity, with your book tour coming up, with like our business. And we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line with these live events. And one of the things that my business partners and I decided this week was to make a decision about a big event so that we could move on and we could not have the indecision hanging over us for a long period of time, which creates stress and uncertainty. Instead, let's make a decision and now strategize to move forward about how we're going to make the best of that. And I just want to say this, like in business, I think it's really, really important, because in this time, you don't want to add stress. You want to take away stress, because the situation in itself is stressful enough.
Well, you've got all these other layers of stress coming on that aren't normally piled in there, right?
Yes, totally. Mm-hmm. So this is really important. This is why we came to you with this message tonight as it relates to the relationship, because you don't want the relationship creating stress. And I would just say, when it comes to business, the more things that you can, the more stress you can eliminate, the better. So make decisions, commit to those decisions, move on, because it will alleviate a ton of uncertainty that can create a ton of stress. right?
Yeah, no, totally. Sorry, I'm reading some of the comments that are coming up here more too.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Sarah. And Sarah, is one of those brick and mortar businesses that we were talking about in the beginning that we want to show a lot of love to, because it's crazy, and we have never seen a time like this before. But like I said, I do believe there will be opportunity. I think I'm going to do a separate Facebook Live where I'm going to talk about that, where there are opportunity for different types of businesses and different ideas and innovations that are going to happen as a result of all of this. And I would encourage us as entrepreneurs. That's what we do. We solve problems, right? And I want us to look for that. And I'm not talking about like taking advantage of, like here, there was one story that you were showing me the other night. Tell the story about the guy with the Lysol wipes.
Oh yeah, you guys might have seen it. I feel like everyone's online this right now, but there was somebody that bought all these Lysol wipes from Costco and then was selling them at a crazy amount, right? I mean, even on Amazon, we're trying to stock up on stuff for when we get home, and like Amazon selling a Lysol wipe for $40. But I think they've recently changed that. Like I think Kijiji and Amazon have changed it to where you can't, or I'm not sure. But
there was like some dude had made like
$100,000 in the last month. He
six figures selling Lysol wipes, and that to me is just manipulating the situation. Like that, from an entrepreneurial perspective, yes, there's an opportunity to do that. Do I think morally that that's a right opportunity? No. But here's what I do think is an opportunity for all of us, in that as leaders in our community, people are looking for us to show up. And one of the things that we want to do is we want to serve people. Like, and so one of the things the tips I was talking to with my impact mastermind was just like, look, now more than ever, this is when you show up. You were talking about it, like how different travel companies and airline companies and hotel companies and stuff like that. It's interesting to watch how they're showing up.
Yeah, we were saying how like this is the time for those companies to show up, and to a point where you'll use them again. Like we have an air transit flight originally for 2 weeks from now, and I got a great deal on to get home. And do you think that I can talk to the reps or talk to anybody? Their phone lines were down, their website were down, they're not taking refunds, and it's like they're not having a lot of press. It's a fight. And yet you go on Airbnb, and our Airbnb listing here, we're going home 2 weeks early. And no problem, here's a refund.
They're proactive about it.
They make it, there's a whole thing on their site about getting refunds, and like and even returning our car and our golf cart. Like there's no trouble there, but yet some people make it so difficult, or they've jacked up their prices.
And so we were having this discussion, and you were just saying like how what a breath of fresh air it was for to go on the Airbnb site and they're being proactive about it, and serving people in this time of need. And I think that for all of us, just as a general rule of thumb, that for all of us is how to show up as an entrepreneur. And I will tell you, it absolutely will come full circle. People do not forget these moments.
No, and then you go back and you use them.
And I was saying to my business partners, there's a couple friends and colleagues who, have a pretty big live event, side of their business that, this whole thing is absolutely crushing, absolutely crushing. And I said to my business partners, I'm like, look, I want to show up for these people. I want to show up for them. I want to help them. I want to support them. I want to do whatever we can to help them bridge this gap. And because I'm just telling you, my friends, like this is how we show up as business owners. We are creative. We are problem solvers. And this is nothing more than a problem to be solved. And this is the time to show up. Do not hide. Do not retreat. This is the time to show up. And I want to encourage all of us, because it will come full circle. Yeah. And not only will you help a lot of people, people will remember that, and it'll come back when times pick up.
Definitely.
All right. I don't want to go on. That'll be another Facebook Live. I'll do another one, because I'm very, passionate about this, because this to me is just as devastating and as crazy and as uncertain as it is right now. It's also a great time to be an entrepreneur, because we're the ones that can do something about it. So I'll circle back and do another one on that. But tonight, this was about the relationship. This is about minimizing stress with those that you love the most. And you want to quickly recap 3 tips again. Number 1?
I would just say communicate daily more often than you do regularly. So communicate daily, give yourself some grace. And
that was number 2.
Was 2. And the third one, like teamwork. Like it isn't you doing it all. It's working together as a team with your spouse, someone close to you that you can do it together.
My friends, we're thinking of you, and you're not alone in this. Let's stay connected and help each other and support each other through this. All right. Lots of love to everybody. If you're traveling, safe travels. That's where we're at tomorrow. So
we'll see you in the airport.
Wish us all the best. And, we'll hopefully get back before Canada closes its borders.
Don't worry. I've got all my sanitizer wipes and my everything wiped out.
You're awesome. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.